Almost all of the countries of the world have the membership in the United Nations. Your country has the membership of the United Nations too. But how much do you know about this international organization? What was the reason behind the establishment of UN? What are the missions of UN? When did your country get the membership in the United Nations? My dear energetic, great audience, my name is Abdullah Karimi, and I'm glad to deliver my speech about the United Nations, which is the most well-known and international organization. As we all know that the United Nations was established after the Second World War, so I prefer to give a very concise information about the history of Second World War. The Second World War was the most tragic, the most dangerous, and the most harmful war in the world, which was never experienced in the human history. The war was started in 1939 and ended in 1945. It lasted for 6 years. The exact number of sacrifices of this war is not clear, but the studies show that over 60 million people were the sacrifices of this war, mostly civilians. After the war ended in 1945, and the people and the country saw the destructions of the war, they were expected to come together, to get together and prevent the war. And as a result, the United Nations was established by 51 countries. These 51 countries came together and established the United Nations on 24th of October 1945 to prevent the war and achieve global peace. So let's know about the United Nations. There are 195 countries in the world, but only 193 of them have the membership of UN. Just 2 countries do not have the membership, the Holy See and the Palestine. The United Nations has a lot of aims, has a lot of missions. They do a lot of tasks for the world. But the main tasks and the main missions and the main aims of the United Nations are maintaining international peace, achieving international cooperation, developing friendly relations, encouraging the respect to human rights, and fighting diseases. These are the main missions and aims of the United Nations. The United Nations has so many agencies, but the 5 agencies which structure the United Nations are the General Assembly, which is called the Parliament of the United Nations too, the Security Council, the Secretariat, the International Court of Justice, and the Economic and Social Council. These are the 5 main organs and agencies of the United Nations that structure the United Nations organization. The headquarters of United Nations is located in New York, United States, with its all organs and parts and agencies, except the International Court of Justice, which is located in Netherlands. United Nations organization has 5 official and international languages: Arabic, Chinese, French, Spanish, Russian, and English. These are the 6 international languages of the United Nations, and all of the documentations of the United Nations are interpreted through these 6 languages. Afghanistan got the membership of the United Nations on 1946, after 1 year the establishment of the United Nations. And United Nations has a special agency for Afghanistan too, UNAMA, which stands for United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan. It was established in 2002 at the request of the Afghan government. The mission of this organization is to develop peace and reduce poverty in Afghanistan. Let me summarize my speech. The United Nations organization is an intergovernmental organization, and it's the association of independent countries. This organization was established after the Second World War to prevent war and sustain a global peace. It was established by 51 members, and now, fortunately, it has 193 members. Since we have the membership of the United Nations, we need to have sufficient amount of information about this organization. It was all about my speech, and now I really express my thanks to you all for attending my presentation. And now if you have got any question, I'm in your service.